How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. And you?
I'm very good.
Excellent.
Very excited to meet you in the flesh. So congratulations on your role as Ellen in the revival of Miss Saigon at this beautiful Prince Edward Theatre that we're in a belly of right now.
I'm going to move in.
Yeah, you should. Save on rent. Had you seen the show before?
I had seen the show before. I'd seen it at Drury Lane all those years ago. I was a young tot then, and I'd seen a production in Australia as well from the very back row of the theatre, so I can't say I was ever particularly absorbed in it visually, and my memory of it was very very thin, so it was from a new perspective that I started this time, so it was quite good to have that, I think.
Yeah, and here you are, and obviously you mentioned you saw it in Australia. You're actually from Sydney, Australia.
From Sydney, yes.
So how have you made the journey to becoming a West End star?
Well, I've always had ties with England. Some of my family are actors in Stratford-upon-Avon, and so we've always sort of made every couple of year trip to England. My dad studied here in the 60s, so it's very much been our second home. But I came over here to do Cam Max Oliver about just nearly 6 years ago now. Nancy, and I met my husband on that show, and I've never looked back.
Oh, that's so sweet. In fact, we just interviewed Peter Lockyer, who is the new John Valjean, and he was saying he met his wife when he was performing Chris on Broadway, and his wife was playing Kim.
Showmance, as you see.
Showmance!
I tell you what.
High five to Showmance.
Oh, I love a showman.
I might write a blog on the success stories of Showmance. And also, before we get into the nitty-gritty of musical theatre, I really have to mention your recent stint in EastEnders as a love interest of Alfie Moon.
Oh, I know. Controversial. I know. It was so much fun. It was Shane is so great to work with, and he's just such a pro and very funny, and it's a great team. It's fast. Yeah. But it's great. It's very thrilling, and it's just such a. I was very starstruck by it all being on the square.
The square, and a pressing, hard-hitting journalism question.
Yes.
Do you think you could take Cat Slater in a fight?
Oh my God. I might need to have a few months to grow some nails and find a really good red. I think she's fabulous, so I just love the opportunity to be in that scenario. But I think they're all wonderful, and I don't think I could take her though. I think she's pretty. I think they're solid.
Yeah,
she's
kind of a hair puller or a plate thrower. And will you be making your way back to the square?
Oh God, there's no plans to, but that's the nice thing, isn't it? You never know.
You're gonna emerge, Alfie.
Quick, write some letters.
And back to the world, the crazy world of musical theatre. Yeah. You mentioned you were Nancy in Fabulous Oliver. You've been Charity in Barnum. Yes. And I've seen you as the fabulous Titania in A Midsummer Night's Dream. Yes. And now you are here as Ellen. Yeah. These are all kind of ballsy female roles you've been playing.
Ballsy female roles, actually, now that I think of it. I've got to do someone more subdued next time, I think. But no, it's great. I think it's testament to really great female roles. Yeah. I mean, that they're meaty, and I mean, Ellen doesn't have a lot to do in the show, but she has a particular journey that is really important, I think, to kind of represent all the sides of the story.
Oh, definitely. And how do you think Ellen compares to the other female characters that you've been, and what advice would they offer her in this situation?
Well, I think for Ellen it's a love story, and I think a lot of the girls that I've played before have been very, very in love with their men and have had a rocky road perhaps, but have been strong in the relationship and have fought for the relationship. Yes. And I think that's, whether it's a modern context, a fantasy context, or an old-fashioned one, that kind of never really changes, does it?
No.
And I think they're fascinating stories to tell.
Fools for love.
Yeah,
God
fools for love.
Them.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
And Ellen, it seems to me, is kind of a misunderstood character, or, you know, people come and see Miss Saigon and they're like, Ellen, why don't you just step out of the picture? However, now, in the revival, you've got a new song. Yeah. You've got Maybe. Do you think this adds kind of a new dimension to Ellen?
I do. I think it helps tell her side of the story a little bit in a very short space of time. And I think that this production is very intent on not having any of the human beings in it be the goodies or the baddies. The only baddie is what war does to everybody.
That's a very good point.
And everybody there's a human interest story in everybody, from Ellen to Tui. They're all circumstances of this scenario and are all pretty much trying to do their best.
The thing is though, it's, you know, it is a love triangle and it's really nice now. I know that now that I've seen Her was a good song, I know maybe he's taken over, but it's more, you get to see the true devastation of war.
Well, I think the other song is a sensational song, but I think that maybe stops them perhaps just being two jealous wives, and it means that they're both stuck in this scenario where they're victims of not having all the information and not having ever met each other and trying to do the right thing. There's a child involved, and we'd all like to do the right thing in these scenarios, but we don't really know how we'll react until we're faced with something quite so colossal. And I think that it's just a moment for people to perhaps just see that she's not a stereotype.
The final question, I am in a scenario sort of situation. I'm a person who's never seen a musical. I've got £60 in my pocket.
Yes.
And I really want to invest it in a really good show.
Yeah.
Enter Tamsin. How would you convince me to see Miss Saigon?
Well, I think there's a shift in musical theatre these days.
Yes.
I think there's always a shift in theatre. People want to be entertained. Sometimes there's a recession. They need to have glitz and glamour taken out of their comfort zones. But I think now people are wanting to be challenged and people are wanting to be moved. I think this show is almost like our own personal peace protest. There's something about this show that is unfortunately still incredibly relevant to current affairs. It is one of the most beautiful scores you will ever hear, and you couldn't possibly not be moved by it. It will make you cry, it will make you laugh, but it will make you think about the world and that you live in. And I think that it's pretty good £60 worth of education and involving yourself in living, really.
Fantastic response. High five to that.
Thanks.
Hope you're ready for the lightning round.